What's up, everybody? We're live and we're painting with our hands. We're actually using our hands to make art today. And today, we've got all these Space Marines, all these Dark Angels that need a coat or two of paint. And we've got some base coats on them. I today am I'm going to try and do my best to look at chat. I've got my portable setup at my art desk, and we'll see how it goes. I'm on Abstract today. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Abstract, YouTube, and TikTok. So hello, TikTok. It's been a minute. Yeah, we're just hanging out today. So yeah, if you're on TikTok, I apologize. We're on vertical, so that sucks. But flip it. You'll be all the better for it. I'm gonna try not to put the chat relay over top of the screen. That can be a little fucky. But yeah, I had some time to kill before a meeting, so I thought I would just start slapping and getting some progress on my Dark Angels, because we got to give some love to the hooded boys. Got 3,000 points of these guys to paint, and I got stuff to do. So I've got two cameras set up right now. We're gonna see how this goes. It's a little laggy, but hey, we're doing the thing. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys into my world a little bit for something I do for fun, something I do for peace. Does this make me any money? God, fuck no. Does it cost me any money? Yes. I just gotta put some shit on. But I'm having fun with it, and that's the plan. So you guys get to spend an hour with me painting, and we'll see how much we can get done before a meeting. So yeah, welcome in. Welcome in. I keep looking off to myself. I'll look at the camera more often. Hopefully you can hear me. Somebody in chat, let me know you can hear me. That would be even better. And then let me pull up. I just have to pull up two things because I got to. I can see TikTok's chat because I TikTok. Let's see Maddox's profile. Oh, it's so slow today. I don't know what is going on. Oh, I know what's so slow. We're in power saving mode. Oh, that's dumb. Hold on. We can fix this. That should fix everything. Everything should be better. Like almost instantly, because we plugged the damn PC in. Wow. All right. Can't see behind me anymore. Sweet. All right, so we're here. Everything's good. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so we've got all the places we need to be. I just want to see the chat for my TikTok, and that's annoying to me that I can't. Dumb. Yeah, I just want to see this. I just want to see this. Go in here. Come on. I can't even see my own damn chat. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But that's all right. We'll sort this shit. If you're in on TikTok, wonderful. I may not be able to see your chat, and I apologize. It's the worst. I miss you guys on TikTok. It's a wonderful painting community over on TikTok. So if you are into this kind of thing, you definitely want to check out the Hobby Club. You definitely want to go join Monday night painting sessions and hang out with Bunny Bean and Minnie Geddon and all the wonderful people that I've collected along the way. I really don't know why it's not showing me my chat, and that is obnoxious, but hey, what are we going to do? Says live. I'm in my own live. I just can't see my chat unless I do this. That sucks. Can I pop out my chat? Because that would be sick. Oh, probably because I'm not signed in or something silly. No, it's me. It's me. I don't know, man. Welcome in. Welcome, damn. I see you. I just want my chat. Pop out the damn chat. Damn. All right. Well, maybe if we do it like that. Yes. Yes. Okay. It has to be that specifically big. Okay. Great. Fantastic. Well, I can see my TikTok chat now, and that's all that mattered. So we're all good. We're going to start painting now. First thing to do is clean your fucking water cup, you degen. Um, so I've got this big mucky shit water bottle. That's where that goes. And these are fantastic little clean bottles. And whoop, all it takes. So now's the part where I get artsy. I may talk to you if I see people in there, but otherwise I'm just going to be talking to myself, talking schmack. All right, so let's see what we got to do. These guys need green. This guy needs green. So these guys need some green. This guy's gotten some. This guy could use some. These 4 need some. These 5 got green. They are all set. They got a nice touch of green. And then these boys don't need any green except for they need tan. So I really don't know what I want to play with today other than I know we need green, so let's start. Maybe we want to do a brighter color for stream. So move the green guys away, move the need green guys away, and we're gonna focus on our inner circle champions. And I really just have no idea their paint scheme. So with that said, I do have box art somewhere, so I'm gonna throw that up for inspo. Perfect. They need green too. What do you know? But they also need gray. They also need tan. They need tan in here. This guy is a Terminator, and well, he's a Terminator captain in Terminator armor. He'll need some tan. So why don't we just give them what they need, which is some Vampire Fang is an option, or Ivory Tuskus for later. We could grab some. That's too dark. I mean, we could throw Skeleton Legion down. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so Skeleton Legion is your medium. This one's your highlight. Okay, so we probably want to start with a medium, go to a highlight, and see where we go from there. And you know what other chat I probably can't see is can't see TikTok. I know that one. ABS. Can't see ABS chat. Oy vey. Isn't that beautiful? How they, yeah, I can't see my ABS, but it's looking good. That's what matters. So welcome in. Welcome in. And I wanted to see how my GIF came out. Hey. Wow, that's fuzzy. Okay. Deal. ABS is fun. Okay, great. We're on 3 spots. Everything's coming through. That's all I wanted to check before I get going. Technical difficulties at the beginning is no fun. This is a Vortex mixer. If you're mixing your paints like a noob, like this, fuck your wrists. This was like $25. Save your life. Give a real mix. Unmixed paints, you're going to get weird ass color schemes and stuff's gonna go bad. I don't need a whole lot of this for we're gonna use a smaller brush. I don't need a whole lot of this for the inner circle champions, these 3, but I will need a whole lot for this guy, so we'll probably start off with him and this brush, which is a number 2 crappy shitty brush. We use this to get color on fast, and if we're doing base coats, which we usually need 2, This is what we want to work with so that we don't have all of our paint dry before we're done. That is never fun. So we're just going to get to it. Give them a nice dusting by blowing on them. How about that? And get to town. It's already too thick, but I don't know. It's a little watery. You can tell when the paint kind of picks itself up. I would say this is too thick. This is not what you're going for typically, where it's streaking like that. Where like if you go over it multiple times, I am going to stick with it and I'm going to make it work. I'm going to kind of mix it on his back. I know how to take it away a little bit, but if I overwork it, we'll see that. So we're going to do our best to do a nice first coat and then hit all the other spots. And again, this is a number 2, so it's going to be messy. It's going to be big for these little minis. We're really just trying to get tan on the Terminator armor, but it's a little wet, so I'm gonna add a little more paint, and there we go. Again, if you guys have questions, if you have no idea what Warhammer is, if you paint yourself, let me know. If you don't, if you'd like to get into something like this, let me know. I will tell you the story on how I got into it. So I have known about Warhammer since I was a wee lad. In Springfield, Virginia, where I grew up, we had a Warhammer store, and at said Warhammer store, we were too young to like go in and drop mad buku bucks on minis, but we weren't too young to go in and oogle all of the cool miniatures that would come out of the store. And so we treated the place like it was like a museum. It was like, you got done shopping as a kid, grocery shopping with your parents, and like, most kids were like, can we go to the ice cream store? And instead of that, we were like, can we go to the Warhammer store and just go look? We don't want to buy anything, Mom, we swear. And we never did. But it was like a treat, to go to the Warhammer store and see what was in the glass cases and, all the armies set up on the tabletops. And that was fun. That was really fun. And we knew, I was pretty money savvy at a young age, knowing like damn well what was affordable and what was not affordable and all that. So I never asked my parents to drop monies on this stuff. I just wanted to go and check it out. And if we were good, if we did well in the store, it was a nice treat. Oh, fuck, bumps. And so that's what we did. So put a little peanut butter on the guy. Damn it. I got it on his robe. That's all right. We're going to be slapping this on everywhere, and we'll go and touch up anything we fuck up. But for now, we just got to get this color on his armor. And then we're going to come back and lighten it up anyway, and all that good. It'll start to come together. I will give you guys a shot of what I'm after. I've got some box art here somewhere. But Terminator armor from the Deathwing of the Dark Angels is typically this wonderful peanut butter color, followed by a light tan, and then followed by it starts to look like bone armor at the end. But right now we're just throwing down medium, which is not quite a shader, but it's a medium color for this palette, and we're doing that so we can get into the recesses and make those natural dark spots, natural shading when it comes to adding highlights. Otherwise, the highlights are going to look flat and your whole piece looks flat, and that's not what we're after. I'm really not liking this, how the paint is laying down right now. I need to do a better job of mixing the paint. I don't know what's going on. It's just laying really funny. It's not quite wet. It's not quite thick. It's somewhere in between, and it's giving me hell. So we're just going to do our best to kind of sponge it. I know that's silly with a brush, but we're going to kind of sponge it on there and make sure we just get the color down. We will probably have to go over with another coat, and it's probably going to look a little thick. But hey, we do what we do. So if you're popping in for the first time, welcome in. We're just painting minis while we wait for a meeting to start. I've got 50 minutes or so to hang out with you guys, and I figured I'd share the process. So welcome in. I'm going to stop looking at the camera, and I'm going to continue to look at this camera so I can say hey to people, talk to the camera, and paint my mini just fine. But yeah, if you can see, it's not quite laying down nice and neat, but that's okay. The second pass will help with that. We're just going to use this brush to messily get color where we need it. And I'm already doing a great job of getting on top of the black spots, which is not like in the corners of his scaffolding. I don't want to get that black spot. I kind of want to keep those black. But hey, it is what it is. I can always come back. And we are going to be throwing a wash over the whole thing. So a little extra tan in the darker spots will not kill the project, because when I get that wash on there, it's going to flow into the recesses and be beautiful again. So what I want to do right now, because this guy has some inner circle companion maroon, he's kind of a hybrid of his chapter. I mean, it's all the same chapter. I'm sorry. It's but like the wing, Deathwing is typically this tan color, and Deathwing Knights, and I am trying to keep him looking that way. But I also really like the maroon color of the Inner Circle Companions. And the beautiful part about my chapter is it's so much a mystery that there's no reason he couldn't have some maroon accents added to his coat. And that's exactly what I did. I really like the maroon, and I think it pops really well. It fits the color schemes are tan, this dark green, almost black green armor. And so there's Deathwing, which is your tan for the Deathwing Terminator Knights. Then you have your Green Wing, which is the dark green that we're talking about. And then we have the Inner Circle Companions, which are kind of like the most elite, secrety secrets. They kind of know everything and have all the hand-me-down information that they want to keep to themselves. But they're your high guys. They hang out and they learn all the lore, and they keep it to themselves. They do not share. Heaven forbid. We want to keep it safe. We want to keep out heretics. There's a lot of fun lore that goes along with all this. So, but yeah. So I don't see why an Inner Circle Companion couldn't be a part of the Deathwing. Maybe just depends on how I guess he ranked up through his process and his journey. Maybe somebody's filling in, and they are one of the higher chaplains or higher knowledge bearers, and you know what, they just didn't have enough Terminators and Terminator armor that day. So dude takes off, just keeps his robes on, and he hops in some Terminator armor and goes to town on whoever they're after. So that's just who knows with the Dark Angels. They're not very specific on what they do, because what happened was, so do we want to dive into lore? So there's this guy. Every chapter has Primarch. Primarch is it's essentially a son of the Emperor. The Emperor is important. That's all you need to know. The Emperor is the God Emperor. His gene seed is all over the world, the Warhammer, and it all starts with the Primarchs. And so our Primarch, Lionel Johnson, he he became a Billy badass, and he's noble and wonderful and handsome and all the good things. But he went off to go fight in the warp. and that's a whole nother chapter of things. But yep, he went off to go fight in the warp, go fight some baddies, and he left half his crew back on the Rock, which is where they live, or their original homestead. And he left his best friend and second in command, Luther, back on the Rock to hang out and keep people chilling. And what had happened was Luther. So Luther was, he was a part of the Dark Angels prior. Like, I'm sorry, he was part of the soldiers that found him, and so he's a little wiser. He's a little older. But he's also like quite charming and wonderful and persuasive and leader. He's another leader. Either way, Lionel Johnson, being the Primarch, he kind of like grew up in the woods, like literally like taught himself English and by like observing people. He was Sasquatch. That's literally the best way to put my Primarch. Lionel Johnson was raised in the woods by himself, um, and he taught himself everything about everything. And then he was found by these dudes who were hunting beasts on their planet, the Rock. And I don't think that's the name of the planet, Caliban. And so they're hunting beasts on Caliban. Beasts are very prevalent on this planet. And they come across Lionel Johnson, this 9-foot man, beautiful, wonderful man, human specimen of perfection. And he's huge, he's tall. They think he's a beast at first, but he is kind of like, like just a baby. I think they did find him as like a baby or a child, but he was this large, enormous child, and he couldn't speak English. He just was hungry and scared, and but also like fought beasts and shit. So like I don't know how hungry and scared he was, but he was the man. And either way, they took him in, and learned of how he came to be, and he became the Primarch, or the leader of the Dark Angels, the first chapter of Space Marines. And so, fast forward again, he's been very highly successful in many, many, many things, and he's been extremely successful in wars. And he's ranking up through this military family, and he's doing extremely well. So obviously, Primarch, they put him up pretty quick. Well, Luther, his best friend and kind of mentor / best friend, kind of got second fiddle a lot, and he was doing just as much as Lionel Johnson. He was just as established and knowledgeable about tactics and everything. And either way, he boosted up. They boosted up Lionel Johnson hugely through the ranks, and he became the leader of the Dark Angels, and obviously being the Primarch. So when he went off to the Warp War thing, he left Luther, in command in his place, and he left like half of the Dark Angels behind on the Rock. And Luther, in all of his jealousy, decides to essentially like lead a revolution or a coup against Lionel Johnson. And that's when he came back. When Lionel Johnson came back from his warp trip, successful, huge success in his battle. He actually, instead of finding family and friends from the Dark Angels, he found people trying to kill him and the people who left. Luther had told everybody that he was bad and was corrupted by the warp, and that he had he was now heresy, and heresy bad. We destroy all heresy kind of thing. And so they get into a huge fight, and when I mean huge, I mean like, bro, the whole planet destroyed. Literally became like the rock. Like there was just enough for there was just enough for their like last tower to survive with all their archives of all the Dark Angels like lore and history and everything that they had kept so dear. And can't remember the name of that. The Tower of Retribution or something like that. It kept all the secrets. It was the big archive of stuff. And but either way, Luther and Lionel Johnson got into this huge fight where they literally blew up the world and or their planet. And so not good, but it left what it did was it split the Dark Angels into um, two factions, sort of not factions, but what they were trying. The whole mission now of the Dark Angels is to keep this big family drama secret out of anybody else's. Nobody else is supposed to know about this. We do, being their faction, but it kind of sets up everything else. But yeah, they're highly shamed about this. They don't want to talk about this out loud. They don't want to share this with anybody outside of the good side of Dark Angels. They don't even trust themselves. Like they don't know who to trust. It's this crazy, like big, they would rather die than share this with anyone. Shame. And it's all they're trying to do right now is preserve their history and keep anybody from finding out what happened on the rock. They don't want anybody to know, and they don't want anybody to find out, lest it provide prove weakness in their chapter. They don't want anybody to take advantage of them for this, and they don't want anybody to find out. So the whole goal is to weed out the heretics, weed out the chaos, those who are corrupted by chaos, and do it in private. So they don't talk to anybody. They don't like. They fight alongside people against like obvious chaos, but like outside of that, they really don't fuck with any of the other Space Marines because they're all afterthought factions from their faction, and they don't want to share any of the old secrets because they don't know who's really on their side or who's really there to help. And it's kind of paranoid. It sucks. But yeah, because the warp already like dements your mind, and it's that's I don't really know any better way to put it, but like it's not it distorts time, it distorts space, it distorts your everything, and so it's already questionable that they came back and they're still like in good spirit and health, and then their left was corrupted by Luther, who was corrupted by greed and wanting just to be Lionel Johnson in so many words. And so it's you don't know who's good and who's bad, and truthfully, like there is no good guy, there is no bad guy. There's just change of there's opinions and perspective, and so it's very interesting in that way. But it's also weird. And so Dark Angels fight against themselves and against chaos and against other factions that might be trying to find out what's going on with them. It's a little weird. But yeah, that allows them to fight everybody. But yeah, they are the first faction. They do have all the know-how. They do have all the history. They've got all the goods and all the bads. And it's I don't know. I found out. Okay, so I got into this whole story about the faction that I'm painting, which is cool. I don't mind getting that on camera, but I why I chose them was actually no reason other than like okay, so like back to I started by like admiring this game from afar. I had no idea I'd ever get into it. And so, whatever. I grew up, I have kids now, and my 8-year-old says, "Hey, Dad, can we play a family game like Dungeons and Dragons?" And I was like, oh my God, I fell in love. I was like, yes, of course, my darling. Like, we will find out everything there is about playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we will learn how to play, and we will get miniatures, and we will have fun, and we will learn to be dungeon master and player all in the same time, and we will learn because I love you, and you just said wonderful things, nerdy, wonderful things, and I was so happy when she asked that, because I have played games like Dungeons and Dragons with friends, but not a lot. More just again from afar, knowing about things and you know whatever, but never really having money or time to get into them. So I am scrolling around on the internet trying to find. We got some starter stuff, but I wanted to get minis because that's exciting. Painting minis is cool, and I don't know. I had this thought. Well, D&D minis, like the ones they sell off the shelf, suck. Like the models are so low poly and attention to detail. I was heartbroken. We got our first couple, and I was like, "This blows. This is not cool." And over and over and over again, I kept coming into contact with Warhammer and going, "Wow! Like the detail on these, whoo, beautiful. Like this stuff is detailed." And Games Workshop does really do a good job. I just put the wrong fucking paint down, and that's okay. We're just gonna move on and throw it over here. All right, sweet. So I kept finding Warhammer online, and I kept saying to myself, and had some big boy money, and I just fucking decided, you know what? I'll get like the combat patrol. I'll get the starter kit. I'll get some version of the game that I can play and learn and dip my wee little toe into the game. Well, it turned out that the deal that I found online was not a deal. It was somebody trying to scam uh, on Facebook Marketplace, and they weren't ever going to send me the thing, so canceled my order. And I was really pissed because when I buy something to learn how to do something and play something or get involved, I research. I don't know about any of you other ADHD people, but I dive head first into the research, and I love it. So I found this Dark Angel kit, honestly, because it was the cheapest. And in real life, it's not the cheapest, but either way, on this, on Facebook Marketplace, it was the cheapest. And I was like, ooh, I will buy this because it's affordable and I can do this. And whatever. Ended up being a scam. No biggie. But I was pissed. I was like, ugh, my heart sank because I had done all this research on Dark Angels and learned the whole story of Lionel Johnson and Luther and why they're so secretive and why they're so cool and why they're the first chapter and all the lore that you can dive into online. And I was like, well, what a waste, because now I'm going to have to find something else. And I don't know if this is still what I want. Actually, it is exactly what I wanted. So after learning about all the lore, I was just interested in like learning how to paint again and have some fun in a new medium of art. And, got some art supplies and a airbrush and hundreds of dollars worth of paint, just paint, and brushes and materials and whatever. I just started putting a small list of shit I might need if I was a painter, and did that. And this all happened, by the way, over like the course of a few weeks. Didn't take very long. And I I started, I fell in love with them, but it all kind of come to a halt because the order canceled, and that's a really dumb reason to stop something. So I whatever. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go find me some Dark Angels on the secondary market. And I went on eBay, and eBay became my friendly local gaming store. I don't have one close by like a Warhammer store near me today. I have the two closest stores near me are 45 minutes in either direction. And as much as I'd love to support them, I can't make that field trip out every time. And they also charge a small premium sometimes, and that's just to keep the lights on. And I understand and appreciate that. But I don't have premium, when I was trying to look for something. Yo, thanks for the 10 Pengu. I'm sorry how late that was, but I appreciate you. Thanks, brother. Yeah, I was looking for something, a cheap way in. I didn't want to just dive head first. And sometimes it can feel like, if I'm going to make a 45-minute trip out somewhere, I might as well go and buy the blank. Well, I couldn't find a kit in the price range I was looking for. So I was like, you know what? I could probably build the kit. I could probably build like all the pieces. I could probably find all the pieces. Because what happens is like they come in on, I don't have any plastic to show you, but you got to build them from scratch. This guy was, put together off a sprue. You got to put all the pieces together, and then you got to prime them and paint them and all that, and it comes flat and it turns into this. It's very fun. A lot of people buy too much, and on eBay, especially, you can find all this. We call it gray piles of shame, and where you get too much and it just sits in the corner and nothing ever happens to it. Well, that is my best friend for buying minis and buying plastic, and I'm really good at eBay anyway. But yeah, I found all the stuff on eBay's for like 40% of its approximate price, and that just unit by unit, I just kept learning about what units did and why you might want to add them to your army. And I learned, of course, like the combat patrol stuff, but I also wanted to learn bigger games eventually. Like I was buying the combat patrol, which is like a 500 point army. Each unit is worth so many points in the game, and the tabletop war game we're talking now. And because you actually do something with these guys once you paint them, which is fun. And I wanted to learn all the complex rules and what they're for and who does what and why, and that's what I did. I found just really good deals one after the other. And like, for instance, this was one of the first ones I picked up. This is a I'm going to get this wrong. It's not an aggressor. These guys, for 3 of them, go for just 3 of them go for like $60 to $70. I got 6 of them for $60. So just because somebody opened the box and never put it together, and had 2. So I'm down. And so I kept finding these awesome little deals like that. And that's how it started. And then it just kind of kept rolling over. And I found this good deal and that good deal and too many good deals I couldn't pass up, until I was like, God damn, man, I have not calculated yet, but I guarantee you I spent at least $1,000 on plastic alone, and spent another, I don't think $1,000 on art supplies, maybe $500 or $600 on art supplies. I mean, I really went to town in like 1 month's time. It's insane. And if my wife's calling me to tell me don't be buying that much. I mean, I haven't done the calculations. I really can't tell you how much. I can just say I had to stop, and I did. And now I have, so like I said, like the combat patrols, they're like $150 kit normally. I probably got, they're about 500 points worth of units, and some units you're never ever going to use. So like in a big boy game. So I researched that and I found that out. So I didn't go for that combat patrol, but I did get a bunch of things that were, what I wanted, the kind of army I wanted to build one day. And probably have, I've calculated it's like 3,400 plus points of units. which you don't even need that. Like, I mean, it's more than you need easily, because you probably only need you need 500 for a small game, 1,000 for the next tier, 2,000 for the tier after that, and 3,000 is the big boy game. And there's bigger. There's something called Armageddon, but I'm not gonna be even getting anywhere close to that. I do know people with Armageddon size armies, and that's like 10k plus, and then it just keeps going up by 10k brackets, and it's literally like fills a whole gymnasium floor of minis, and it's insane. Huge games, and they take. I mean, a small game can take an hour and a half to 2 hours, 3 hours. Um, mid tier game can take four, and mid being like 2,000 points. So it just depends on how much time you really have to offer the game. And I don't even live close enough to play, so I have no rush to paint my army. I don't have any rush to paint my unit up. I can just paint at my leisure, in my own time, learn about the army, learn about building, learn about everything there is to it, and just take my time. I hear about these guys rushing out 1,000, 2,000 point armies in like a month, and I'm on month like 2 or 3 now, and I've barely got a playable unit painted. But I've learned a lot, and I have a lot more appreciation for the sport and the process and everything that goes into this art. But it's really, for me, it's at the end of the day, it's a hobby. And at the end, when I'm stressed out about whatever, or I just want to end the day on a high note, I come to my painting desk and I paint something, and I put it down and I pick it back up and I paint it some more, and I put it down, paint it, pick it up, paint it. It's fun. To say the least, it's fun. It's I that's all it should be. It's a hobby. What else can you ask of it? My wife sometimes asks, like, "Oh, can you sell your painted minis?" Nope. Not. I mean, yes, there are people that are like don't want to put in the time to sit there, and I mean, because like it can take hours, because every color is a layer on the mini, and so you can absolutely, like, we're gonna put an hour in and just get the color tan on these guys. Can you guys see that? It's a box. Hold on. See if I can get. I have to flip it upside down. So this is what they start looking like when you get all the paint you want on them, and they look really cool. But here's where we're at. You know what I'm saying? We're on maroon and tan. We haven't done any shaders. We haven't done any highlights. We haven't done anything at all. We're on base coats, and so we're gonna take an hour just putting tan on these 4 minis, and then we're gonna wait for them to dry, and that doesn't take too long. But we are gonna finish up the color tan, and then we'll move on to another color, and we might do a couple more, and maybe we'll focus on 1, and maybe we'll focus on 5, maybe we'll focus on 20, with one color, and that just keeps repeating. So let me show you something finished. Okay, so this is an Imperial Knight. Pretty cool guy. He's pretty big. I like these bigger, chunkier dudes because, like, comparatively, they're big guys. This is Imperial Knight, but this is one of the smaller of the Imperial Knights. They get bigger than this, and I have one. They're huge. This guy probably took me like 5 or 6 2-hour sessions, maybe 3-hour sessions. He's got a fancy base that's going to go along with him. That's going to have a resin pour. You can get fancy as fuck. I did all this by hand. I'm very proud of it. The rock feature, everything is. These are little hot water drips, so that when I pour the resin down, it actually looks like a waterfall. Like that. That's the kind of detail you can add to your minis when you get into dioramas, like it's a whole nother art game. And I love doing bases, because they just add a lot of personality to what you're doing. Tells the story, um, this one, let's show that one next. This one is a Dark Angel. um, he's a Redemptor Dreadnought. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's got a big old plasma cannon. He's got a big old gold fist, and he's got all the trimmings of somebody, who is there to keep secrets. And he's one of the oldest boys in the camp, because inside is actually a little sarcophagus, where a fallen, um, sorry, fallen space marine might eventually live in the little sarcophagus there. And he basically never gets to sleep, and he's always tormented, so he's enraged all the time. So when they wake him up and he's ready for battle, he's fucking angry. And that's kind of a short story of dreadnoughts in general, these robot fellas. But yeah, I put him on a rock, and I filled this with resin to make him look like he's kind of over a pond, and he's running. Yes, I made him run. That's not easy to do with this kit, and it's not meant to do this. But I love posing these little fellas, and I had to put a bolt through his foot. Like, I mean, it's not. But it's, at the end of the day, it's modeling, and it's a lot of fun. He's not done. He's almost done, but he's not all done. Got some more to go. Got to do some highlights and some touch-ups. This one I did for a left-handed painting challenge, and I almost broke my model. Oh, that's awesome. I did this guy for a left-handed painting challenge to help spread awareness about MS, and it was a cool little contest, and we'll see if I win anything. But he's another Imperial Knight, and I painted him orange, which is their pride color, or their awareness month color. But he is like the first boy I showed you. Cute little guy, and made him a cute little base. And said base is what he would stand on. And I made a little crystal, and this was all done out of like blue foam, kitty litter, and cork board. I mean, like, literally starts out like this and like this, and you just kind of paint shit, taint shit, make it fun, and do art. Have fun, Nobody taught me how to do this. I watched hundreds of hours of YouTube videos on concepts, and the only way to learn this stuff is by putting paint on plastic and trying weird shit, and I've tried a lot of weird shit, and I have a lot of more weird shit to go. Let's see if I can lower it down on this guy. You see him? Right. I don't know. This second camera sucks on focusing on things, but and the lighting's not ideal for this. I've got some images on my TikTok though. Got some good angles of him and stuff. But yeah, so okay, that's the bigger side of the art, and then I like doing the big stuff because it's bigger and you can kind of focus on it. These little guys are little, and they need a lot of attention, and they're very slow because you got to use paintbrushes that are this big, and it is what it is. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the impatient. It's definitely fun though. And so right now I'm literally just painting little scrolls with tan, and making sure I get his blouse. Yes, I said blouse. Making sure his blouse is all tan, and we get the right parts tan versus the parts that I want maroon, and we don't paint it on too thick, and this boy will be beautiful. But yeah, it's I got to breathe. Hang on one sec. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's it's fun, man. It is fun. God damn it, I gotta get his stomach. Okay, so like you gotta learn, like, and like if you don't plan this thing out right, you're gonna have to go in and repaint and repaint and repaint, because if you're not steady enough, you're going to fuck it up. And we're going to get just this little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Come on. We're just going to get this little bit above his belt right here. And I'm going to try and do it while I'm on camera. Without getting the robes. I can get this part a little messy, but I want to keep the robes maroon, because that's his primary color. I just want it to show that underneath his robes, he's wearing pajamas. Tan pajamas. No, just more robes. And then I'll go back and over his, Quilla, I will make that nice and, fun. But just that much, that's all I needed. Just that tiny little bit, that little V needed to be tan so it matches up with the bottom there. And I'm going to have to go back over the bottom here because there's some trim that's maroon, but I need to get it in between the trim. And I need to make sure it's not too thick so I can go over it again. And the detail is there. It's a tricky bitch. And I just did it by trying to see if I got a part, and I got another part. And I'm going to have to go back and maroon it. But that's okay. A little bit of over brushing is never going to kill anybody. Then I got to make this part green and this part silver. It's just a lot of layers of shit. And I love it. I love all this stress. It's fun. Okay. Anything else tan, fellas? Anything at all? Can I throw anything else tan on you? No, just your blouse. Okay. Deal. Make sure all his jazz is jazzed. And then we'll move on. And that's him done. And this guy, he's probably got some spots that I can, he's super dry now and he's mostly one color. So we're looking good here. But there's probably some little itty bitty parts that I could not get with my number 2 brush. So I'm going to go in and grab those spots. Because had I gone in with my number 2 brush, I'd be doing a lot more touch up with the maroon. But it looks like I'm going to have to go back and do it anyway. See the ridge of this? That's all I need to do. Isn't that crazy? Just little tiny flecks of detail. It's patience. It's just patience. And everybody can do this. Bob Ross, everyone can paint. Everyone can mini. You just got to practice and be willing to fuck up. Because like I said, if you fuck up, as long as your paint is thin enough, it's okay. You just come back and do it with another color. Or the color you colored over accidentally. Or whatever. You just fix it. It's going to be layers anyway. If it was one color each thing, it would look like shit. Having a little gradient is perfectly fine. And perfectly... like it's part of good paint jobs. It has to have some gradient. Otherwise, it looks like garbage. But it's okay if it looks like garbage as long as you're putting paint on the thing. Because then it's your garbage. And it never has to be done. It's done when you say it's done, not the first time you try. If you don't like it when you're done touching it, you're not done with the project. You're just done touching it for the day, maybe. Give yourself lots of room to grow and lots of room to learn and, practice and be angry and then forgive yourself and come back. I know that this collar has to be, oh man, this is a detailed fella and I'm all to blame. I could have just left him alone. I tacked this robe on him. This robe did not belong on this model. And I kit bashed the fuck out of him. It was awesome. But he shouldn't have had this robe. He shouldn't have had this hood. He shouldn't have had this this mace. This mace is from an older set. It's still legal. Every piece matters. It's so cool. But if you learn the game and you learn the rule of cool, pretty much anything's legal. And it's just a matter of what you like and what you're willing to do and what you're willing to make and what you're willing to look up and play. There's so many options. Another really cool thing about Warhammer is the lore. Again, I know I just gave you a whole fucking story about it, but no jokes. The Warhammer 40K, has been going on. Warhammer in general, the Warhammer universe has been going on for the last 40 years. And it's not a play on 40K, but it has been going on a long time. And so when you get a bunch of nerds playing a game for 40 years, what do you think happens? Yep, they have tons of lore and tons of novels. I shit you not. There are like 600 novels based on the lore of this game. And it's insane. And it all connects and it all makes sense and it's all studied and it is so fascinating. Like there's no way I can know everything about this game at all. There's no possible way. So I put something I didn't want there and it's not quite on. It's just like a dust. So I take another brush and I knock it off. No big deal. But yeah, so it's there's a lot to it, but don't be overwhelmed. Just learn what you want to learn. Like I don't know half of what I should know about the Chaos Legions and stuff, but I don't need to learn about them. I need to learn about Dark Angels right now, so that when I do bring my little pieces to a match, tournament or whatever, or game, just even a game, that I'm ready to play my guys, and I will learn about the other guys as I'm being fucked up and murked on the battlefield by dudes who have been playing this for 30 years or more. And that is no lie. And they are more than happy to teach you along the way and tell you why you're wrong and tell you why you're right. And, just make you feel horrible about your existence, but then also teach you something while you're doing it. I mean, it's fun. Great, sweaty, smelly community, and I love them all. They're so funny and so knowledgeable and so passionate about everything that goes into this, because after you've spent hours and hours and hours doing it, I don't know how you couldn't be, for one. But it's really impressive, this whole community. So hats off to the Warhammer community, and my new friends, my new painting friends. I've learned a lot and I've had a lot of fun, and I don't plan on stopping. It's like, if I were an old man with a model train set, that might look weird to some, and some might be like, I get it. This is my version of a model train set. It just happens to be part of the 40K universe and a tabletop war game, and drop your models, you'll fuck them up. Gotta learn how to squish your balls trying to catch them in between your legs. We did that. That worked. We're all set. But yeah, that's that. I've got 2 more guys and 9 minutes. So instead, I'm going to highlight this guy, I think. And yeah, let's do that instead. Because if I try to start these guys, I'm going to miss my meeting, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to put 8 minutes into highlighting with that color that I accidentally threw down, which I need to use, otherwise I lose. Paint only lives for so long on your palette, unless you have a wet palette, and even then, it only lives so long. So better use it up. It's not cheap. A bottle like this is $5, $4, $5, and I've got too many. So what we're doing here is a lighter color of the same tone, and all I'm doing is finding what would be like the highlighted raised areas, we call them, and I don't like that. Come on. Okay. I'm going to take the side of my brush and I'm just going to trace without making any like sudden movements. And that's it. Like that's all I'm doing. I'm just giving a highlight. It's a highlight and it's nothing it's nothing fancy. You get a good grip and you just give it a little light where the light would shine if there were a light over it, which there is. You just get to put it into paint. And there you go. And that's it. It's just to make that shoulder pop. That is all. And I got that on camera. Nice. Looks pretty good. So we're going to do that to any raised area, and that is a lot. But for 8 minutes, we can do it. So top of the shield, these little bits. We can do all of this, just brushing over the symbol and the top of the skull, just as if there was light shining on it. And if this doesn't give you Bob Ross vibes, I don't know what does. Just let the light shine on your piece and let it fall with the brush. Just going to let the brush pick up the raised areas and tell you where it is. You don't have to pick it out. You just glide the side of your brush ever so gently across the things, and there you go. And that sticks out. See what I did with the skull there? That's all we're doing, man. We're just picking out details. Watch what happens when we go over these wingies. We're just going to get the outline of this. I don't have to paint that freehand. I don't have to try and figure that out with the tip of my brush. I can just use the side of my brush and let it drag the raised areas. It's a cheat code. Too much on your brush, this doesn't work. Too little, this doesn't work. But when it works, whew, it works. Going to go in the direction of things. Kind of dry brushing. And I'm being a little careful and a little quiet while I talk. Okay, see that? Oh, there's some parts on the top here I want to get. A little halo around his head. Meow, 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 meow. There we are. Simple. Brings out all the nice details, and it looks like it looks like light is on there even when the light's not great. That's what a highlight is supposed to do. So, if you can make the paint look like it's always under light, it'll look fantastic all the time. And that's how it goes. It's pretty cool. This paint is rough though, so I'm trying to treat it nicely, and I gotta use it or lose it. And we are at 4 minutes to go. That took 4 minutes. Oh my god. Bonk. Bonk. Okay. The little guy. There. That's it. I'm just picking out those tiny raised areas. That's it. Across the pauldron again. If you like what I'm doing, guys, let me know in chat. I haven't seen anybody, so it's probably the middle of everybody's day and everybody's just chilling, but this is me just chilling. So if you like what I'm doing, let me know so I can keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it anyway. It doesn't matter. Fuck you. But I haven't seen chat go off at all. Nobody's chatted with me. So you got to hear my story today. Let me talk to myself, and I appreciate you guys for that. Thank you so much. Yeah. And, I got to get some tan on my models. and that was fancy too. So we'll do this again. I used to do this almost nightly on TikTok, and when I got going, and was doing it on YouTube. I hope my YouTube folks say hey in the script later. Yeah, I actually have to get back on YouTube doing this because we had a lot of fun. YouTube fam doing this, and we had some laughs and some good folks. So no, I'm gonna definitely keep doing this. It's something I've been looking for more work lately, and this is not work. This is play. But if you do want any commission work done, if you like what I do and you want some for yourself, don't feel like doing it all at once, or you'd like some help, more than happy to take on commissions. Um, I do, do paid work for other creative arts and things, so it's not out of my wheelhouse to, you know, bring your art to life. I love doing that stuff, so that's what I'll offer as well here. But it's not a main priority at all. It's this is a fun for me, and if I can fun for you in any way, let me know. But if not, hanging out and chilling, listening to my tales while we paint here is also welcome. That's why I've turned on the stream today, not to make money, to just hang out and show you what I do. So, yeah, we're just picking out more raised areas, and I think I got to pop the stream. All right, guys, I love y'all. It's top of the hour, and I got a meeting to get to. But thank you for hanging out for an hour painting with me. We got a couple of models done, and started, and yeah, we'll do some more soon. All right. So thanks so much, and that's all. That's all, folks. We'll see y'all next time. Bye. Oh yeah, I'm sure I